pulled a gun on me. Said he was gonna kill me. You might have done it too if Buckley hadn't been there. When you said you didn't want to go to war with your family, I tried to respect it. But you need to know exactly who we dealing with.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love Snowfall, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today we're going to be talking about Snowfall Season 6, Episode 1. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And what a season opener, man. This episode was a banger, in my opinion. Of course, we saw your girl, Black Diamond. She met the end. You know what I'm saying? Your boy Uncle Jerome, he was not playing around. Of course, a lot of people did not like how Jerome did her, and it was brutal, as I told you guys last night in my quick thoughts early impressions video. And when you think about all the things that Black Diamond has done, it was just a matter of time before she finally got. I mean, she shot Aunt Louie, and they pretty much let it go because it was business. But all that was just build up to this episode. Jerome, he went off, and we will be talking about that. But once Franklin made that deal with Big Dion, and Big Dion went back and he told Uncle Jerome about the deal and, the whole meetup, I knew what time it was. I knew it was just a matter of time before Jerome came and got payback, and that was a hell of a payback move, right? And now I believe there's going to be some consequences for that, just like it's been consequences for everybody thus far. And what do y'all think about Aunt Louie pretty much pulling the strings? She was smart and calculated this episode. She didn't really go off, but her actions, it showed us everything. She's moving without actually having to do too much. She was like, I am the queen on that chessboard, and I'm going to get everybody else to do my work for me. And we're going to see how your girl Aunt Louie is going to continue to move, but based off these first two episodes, she definitely pulled some strings and got Jerome to go to that next level, which may mess around, end up getting him taken out when it's all said and done. But let's begin the recap. What did we see in episode 1 titled Fallout? Now the episode begins with them showing us a little girl. She's on her porch. She's looking for her pops, and her name is Tisha. Her grandfather walks up and he's like, where's your daddy at? And she's like, look, he never came back last night. And she's been sitting there. They go to the crime scene. We see Uncle Jerome and Aunt Louie, and this is the same spot that Franklin, Black Diamond, and Dallas hit at the end of season 5. Of course, we know all those bodies got dropped off, and one of those bodies was Tisha's pops. And you can tell Jerome is pissed off, Louie is upset. On top of that, Tisha is very sad. I mean, she just lost her dad, her grandpa, he's going off. I mean, it's very sad. And Jerome, he's just looking like, man, you know what I'm saying? I definitely did not want this to go down the way it's going, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is the price of that brick that Jerome was talking about ever since season 1, and now it's time to deal with the consequences of being in the game. Now Gustavo returns home, and Shamara, she's like, where have you been? What's going on? But y'all know Gustavo can't say too much because the DEA, they own him. They are definitely on him, so he plans to talk to her somewhere else, because if he says too much, he can mess up this whole operation. Now Franklin takes Veronique to the new stash spot, and besides Franklin, she is the only person that knows about this place. I mean, it has product there, weapons, money, and he needs her help. He wants her to pretty much get this money into his account, and he wants it clean. Now, she has to go to Miami in order to do this. I know they was talking about her mom's ex-boyfriend. They can, do some things down there and get the money into those accounts. But Veronique, she's kind of hesitant. She's like, look, I don't really want to do this. Maybe you should fix things with your family. This is not right. It's no use to be going back and forth. Let's just end this. But Franklin is like, screw all that. He ain't about to start all the way over, especially after all the things he's done. But as of right now, Veronique, she's not on board. Now Franklin goes to an old character that we seen back, I believe, in season 4 when his pops was around. His name is Top Notch, and he wants intel on Teddy's family. And of course, he does talk about Peaches as well. He wants to know where the hell Peaches is at, and if he can get intel on not just Peaches, but on Teddy's family. He did mention about Teddy's pops in Kansas City, and of course, his ex-wife and kid. We know based off that official trailer, it seems like Franklin is burning down somebody's house. A lot of you guys mentioned that house just may be Teddy's pop's house. So we're going to find out this season if Franklin will be doing that. But as far as Peaches, we should be getting the conclusion to that storyline. I know I made the video about Will we get a conclusion to Peaches, Alton, and of course Lucia? And it seems like those rumors about Peaches and getting a conclusion to his storyline may come true by the end of the season. Now it seems like Teddy's shipment of weapons that he was getting through Avi, it's over. Avi is not here anymore, and of course Teddy is being told that it's no use for them to do business anymore, and he's lucky this guy did not take him out, based on what he's done to him in the past. I was hoping, y'all. I'm hoping and praying on Teddy's downfall each and every week. We know they're going to stretch it out to the very end, but man, I'm going to keep hoping and praying. Now, Gustavo tells Shamara, like, look, it was not Teddy that was bugging the house, and I know who it was, but I could not tell you. That's all I know. So he can't tell her it's the DEA and that he's made a deal. She's probably paranoid herself, like, man, who is it? What the hell did this dude done got me up in? And now I don't know what to do. But at the end of the day, we know Gustavo has to look out for himself, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to save himself and, of course, his family. Now, Sissy is having a conversation with Ruben, and they're talking about Avi. She's saying that Franklin got spooked, and if he did it, and he's like, look, we got to get Teddy. You know what I'm saying? You need to hurry up. We need to get Franklin on board. We need to set up a meeting with him tomorrow, and we need to go ahead with this game plan because we are running out of time. So as I told you, this dude, this Ruben character, the KGB, they ain't playing around. And I still got that funny feeling that he's going to be looking out for himself when it's all said and done. We shall see. Now, Franklin goes to the projects, and Big Dion, he's running the place. Big Dion out there running his mouth. He's feeling himself, especially since Leon has went to Africa. And now he's in charge, right? And Franklin is telling him, like, look, let's do business together. Big Dion tells him, you out the game. And Franklin kind of got pissed. Like, what? Who told you that? We know it was Leon. And now Franklin is like, look, I am in the game and I can give you a better deal than Uncle Jerome or whatever. I can give you 10 a key. And if Jerome can match that, you can go ahead and do the deal with him. But if he can't, let's do that deal. Big Dion all about his paper. So he's like, all right, let's do it. But he's not trying to get involved in any beef that he got with his family. And he's trying to stay out of it. But we know he ended up telling Jerome about the whole deal in the meetup, which at the end of the day ended very bad for Black Diamond. Then we get to Gustavo. He's having a conversation with Teddy. Teddy's paranoid. He don't know what's going on. He's asking Gustavo where he's been. Gustavo tells him he was in emergency with his son. And his head's just all over the place. He's trying to find Parissa, which we know he gets very lucky. And he ends up finding her later on in the episode. But I was hoping and praying that Ruben really snatched her up. But man, she ended up getting away. Now, we get to Ricky, and your boy Franklin went back to the hospital to talk to him about business. And he's telling him that Kane is still, recovering or whatever. And of course, Franklin's like, look, if you want to get back at Uncle Jerome and Aunt Louie, you got to target their business. I'm willing to do business with you, and call me when you guys are ready to do that. But Ricky, he pretty much told him, like, look, Kane is in this position because of your family. Franklin did tell him that Leon is out of the game. He ended up leaving the country, but he definitely does want their help when it comes to taking down Aunt Louie. And of course, we know Kane is not going to be playing around when he wakes up. Now, Aunt Louie goes and meets up with Teddy. She needs to re-up because she's been robbed. But Teddy's like, what's going on? Like, something's not right. And eventually she does tell him that Franklin robbed them. And Teddy, he's kind of upset because he's like, man, this is going to be bad. And he wants to make sure this is not going to be an issue. Of course, Louie's kind of playing it off like, oh, I guess we're, not going to have Christmas together this year and all that. But Teddy knows what time it is. He knows this will be a problem and it needs to be solved very, very soon. It was funny when Louie told him about Franklin's money being taken, how Teddy like looked away to the side like he didn't know nothing about it. Like, come on, dude, you know what time it is. And if Louie is smart, she needs to watch herself around Teddy, because if he did that to Franklin, what do you think he's going to do to you? She did state that she's, froze her accounts just in case something does pop off. So we shall see. Now, Jerome goes to Dion and he hears about the deal that Franklin gave him. Dion is telling him business is business, and Jerome cannot beat Franklin's deal. He cannot give this guy 10 a key at all. Uncle Jerome and Louie, they already was, having to give products to some other people that was supposed to be meeting up with them. So they was kind of down and out as it is. So Franklin definitely moved in at the right time. But Big Dion messed everything up by telling Jerome about the whole meetup. Like, really, dude? Now, Teddy's having a conversation with Haymeyer, and they're talking about Avi's pipeline full of weapons is pretty much done for, and they need to figure out another way to bring in weapons. Teddy also tells him about the $73 million because he wants to get back in good with the CIA. He really wants his job back, but of course he is told he needs to clean up this mess first, and then maybe he can get his badge back. Your boy Teddy's pissed off. I'm hoping and praying he never gets that badge back, and of course he gets got. Now, Gustavo walks in and Teddy's telling him he can leave, but right before he leaves, he tells him, I'm sorry about what happened to your son, but what hospital was that at? So when he asked that, I already knew what time it was. Gustavo knew what time it was. He's like, okay, he gonna check. He gonna try to find out if I'm telling him the truth. And this made Gustavo open up his eyes a little bit more that Teddy is watching him, which at the end of the day, all it did was make Gustavo that much more paranoid. Now, Veronique finally decides to agree with Franklin. She's going to help launder his money. She's talking about she's going to go to Miami and help, deposit that $1.85 million. And you can just look on Franklin's face like, man, she's really going to do it, but also a look of concern because he knows with her really being involved in this, it can lead down the wrong path and something can happen to her and his child. So we're going to see how this season plays out for Veronique's storyline. Then we get to your boy Detective Bucko. He has returned, pissing me off already. Of course, he's telling them the LAPD, they don't got nothing. They can't do nothing about those hits. And of course, they think it's all just drug related, right? So Jerome and Louis, they're pissed off. They're like, look, you need to do more work. Call your boys in blue. See if they can help you out. They're not paying you for nothing. And Jerome had me cracking up, man. He called this man a junkie, told him he needs to make sure he stay off that powder. And while they're having this conversation with him, Franklin finally calls. Jerome puts him on speaker and they finally talk. And Franklin played it off like, look, hey, Unc, like your boy Uncle Jerome was pissed off. He's like, look, man, I need my stuff back that you stole from us. Like, what's going on? Franklin ain't giving them back nothing. He ain't doing it. And Jerome was telling him if he do not give back what he stole, it's going to be a problem. He's going to find out exactly what he's talking about. And Franklin told him, like, look, my eyes has been open from the very beginning and they still are. Like, I'm not budging at all. So Aunt Louie, she's pissed off. She's very pissed off. And this is what I'm talking about. Queen Louie has pulled another play out of her book. She said, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell him what Franklin really did the night before. You know what I'm saying? She tells him like Franklin pulled a strap out on her and he probably would have took her life if Bucko wasn't there. And once she told him this, he got pissed off. She's like, look, I just want you to know who we are dealing with. I understand you said you don't want to go up against your family, but hey, it is what it is. We got to step it up. She wants Jerome to say, okay, let's get him. You know what I'm saying? You can just tell. Aunt Louie is moving real smart, and she knows the key to get to Franklin is getting Uncle Jerome on board 100%. Now, we get to Black Diamond in Dallas and Franklin. They're meeting up with him to get the product so that way they can meet up with Big Dion to make that move. We know the kids are in the back. Franklin is talking about, I hope y'all not taking the kids to this drop. They tell him it's not going to happen, but they had to hurry up and get there because they did not want to be late, just like they was late earlier on in the episode. And once they showed those kids, I already knew what time it was. I knew this episode would end very badly for somebody. Now, we get to your boy Teddy. He goes to the police station and he gets Parissa. I was pissed off, y'all. I was hoping she would end up getting snatched, but it did not happen. Teddy is able to have some type of relief, but it may not end that way for him. Now, Gustavo goes to Tony Moreno and he wants to make sure that he's good. And it was stupid that he just popped up like that. Tony is telling him you cannot do that. He also wants to know about those tunnels and he wants Gustavo to take him there, but he needs Gustavo to listen and not screw this up. And Gustavo tells him that Teddy asked him about the hospital that he's told him his son was at, and he needs Tony to fix that. And Tony tells him he would get on it as soon as possible. Now, Franklin is having a conversation with Sissy, and she's telling him like, look, we need to meet up with the KGB. We need to meet up with Ruben in order to get this whole operation to take down Teddy started. Franklin is kind of second guessing like, I don't really know like that. Sissy went off, you know what I'm saying? She's telling him how it was for her when she was out there in Cuba when Alta got taken out by Teddy. She's talking about how Teddy could have easily took her out, but he saw her as not being a threat. And she took that very personal or whatever. And she's like, look, I'm going to make it my goal to take down Teddy. That's exactly what I want to do. She said, look, F all of them. The CIA, Teddy. I mean, this girl is ready to go to war. And I haven't seen Sissy like this. As I told you guys in my quick thoughts, early impressions, we all seen Sissy go off before. But like this is on a whole nother level. And we're going to see if this whole game plan that she's got with the KGB is going to work. I'm hoping it is, but as I told you guys in the past, I definitely don't trust them. I think they're going to look out for themselves when it's all said and done, so we shall see. Now we get to Big Dion, Black Diamond, and Dallas. They're out there getting ready to set up this whole deal. Everything goes well. Big Dion is out there flirting with Black Diamond and Dallas, and he want to clap Black Diamond's cheeks just like Charles clapped Mabel Jones' cheeks in B.O. Meth, but she ain't having it, but she probably would have let him if she would have lived, right? Now, they're in the car. Dallas is talking about how she want to get her cheeks clapped by Franklin. I'm looking like, okay, these girls are definitely freaks, but we know this old little night did not end well for them. They end up getting pulled over by the boys. Detective Bucko called his boys, and Dallas is like, look, you ain't even part of the force no more. Like, how are you even out here doing this? Well, I guess this is what happens when you have friends with power, and Bucko used every resource that he had to get exactly what he wanted, but I was waiting for Jerome to end up showing up. I knew he was going to show up just based off the official trailer when they showed, Dallas in the background crying, so I knew something bad was going to happen to Black Diamond a long time ago, and Jerome was like, look, where is my money at? You know what I'm saying? I want to know where Franklin's at, where the rest of my money, where this stash. They don't know. And they telling the truth. They really don't know. I mean, Jerome was beating this girl down. And it was very, very graphic. And of course, Dallas is telling him to stop. We don't know where his stuff is at. He did not tell us. And Jerome is like, man, it is what it is. And man, he really want his money. He told Dallas, you tell Franklin I did this. So all that frustration has finally came out. He probably been wanting to do this since Black Diamond shot Louis in season 4. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying she deserved to get beat down, but when you're a part of the game like they are and you do what they do, popping people, I mean, the little girl lost her pops, so Jerome is taking that all in. They continue to show him in his facial expressions during those times. He was really upset. And once Louis got into his head about what Franklin did to her, oh, it really came out. She pretty much set this all up without actually having to pull a trigger or put her hands on anybody. And now Black Diamond ain't here no more. Damn. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna see what's gonna happen next. I will be dropping the episode 2 recap for you guys later on in the day. But the first 2 episodes of this season, man, it was straight up fire. And I cannot wait to see what's next. Now, you guys, make sure you check out that Snowfall Season 6 this season trailer that I dropped on the channel earlier. I'm going to try to break down that trailer for you guys this weekend if I get the time, but it will be happening very soon. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support, and I will catch y'all later for the episode 2 recap. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.